should get a link also.
It says the
All right.
stream is live, so I'm
All
guessing
right.
we're live right now.
Yeah, so we are live. Welcome everyone to today's live stream. I will be chatting with Cantonese Cat and Danny Cheng when he gets here. So I think he might be running a little late. So we'll see what time he can get here. But I would like to introduce everyone to my friend Cantonese Cat. He is here with us as a chart. What is this? A Palantir chart or?
It's I don't even know. That was a Bitcoin chart. I just don't want to show my face.
No, of course. No, Mr. Mysterio. But yes. So for those who don't know, I met Cantonese Cat and Danny Cheng on Twitter, on X. It's been a few months, almost a year, I think. So it's
Has it been that long?
I know with Danny, it's been about a year.
Yeah.
With you, maybe around maybe 6 months, maybe half a year.
I want to say 6 months. Yeah, because you guys knew each other. I think you guys had a group between you and Jess. You guys had a group, and then you guys
That's right. And then you got it in.
Yeah, you guys graciously invited me in. I don't know how I was picked, but
that's awesome. And I'd like to kind of shout out people in the comments too who are joining. Evening Iceman, thank you for joining. Chaos Perez, dude, welcome, man, in the house. So yeah, there's Iceman there supporting Cantonese Cat. So just so you guys know, this is going to be more of a casual stream. It's not going to be, we don't have all these topics lined up, it's really just kind of like a chat with friends that I've made over the past few months. And maybe I could start maybe with asking, there you are on my YouTube right there. Do you like my thumbnails?
I do. It's simple and to the point.
No, I had someone actually say that he actually liked it because then he knew where my portfolio was even before clicking the video.
Yeah, it's like watching the preview before you watch a movie, right? You want to know a little bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a time where I tried copying who is it? Joseph Carlson. I don't know if you've seen his videos.
I've seen it.
Yeah, Joseph Carlson kind of has like his the portfolio balance, and he has kind of like a he'll create different thumbnails, right? Whatever the topic of the week is. And I tried doing that, and it took me like maybe 15-30 minutes to kind of make the thumbnail. And those two videos actually got less views than my other videos. So I realized I'm putting in more time, and I'm getting less out of it. I'm better off just sticking to what's working. It's simple. People know what to expect. And so that's what's been going.
I agree with that because before I used to use WhatsApp. There's like an AI thing. I was generating these AI images with like all kinds of cats doing all kinds of things, and and then like next thing you know, like I was like, you know what? I don't think people actually know what my videos are all about. So I was like, this is dumb. So I just ended up like screenshotting like one of my charts and then just wrote some text over it. And it takes me like 2 minutes to do.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, it's working, dude. People know what they're clicking onto. So, and also too, like you, Danny, Jess, I feel like we've been, especially in that group chat that we have been learning a lot from each other, which I think it's awesome because we have different points of view, different investment strategies, different goals, even with our portfolio.
Yeah.
But I do have you guys to thank for kind of introducing me to, technical analysis, because it is something that to this day, I'm still a little skeptical, I guess, or where I guess I don't have that conviction in it.
Yeah.
But I am noticing myself using it more often to kind of make short-term decisions based off of TA. Like the long-term, yes, it's fundamentals, the story, but choosing when to sell some covered calls or when to sell some cash secured puts, then that is when it's getting where I'm starting to use TA more often than not.
Yeah.
And I do have you guys to thank for that.
Yeah.
So.
No, absolutely. I mean, I just I want to say like it's always good. I'm showing this just to piss you off, by the way.
I just saw it right now. I was like, I don't know if he knows that I can see the screen or he doesn't. No. But it does not. It does not. Not at all. but
No, I
I
know, I
definitely
know. Like
he
you
definitely is
actually
not
don't
my
care.
cup of tea. I don't like the dude, but he definitely it won't raise my blood pressure. I will say that.
Yeah. No, I'm subscribed to the dude. Like, I mean, the dude helped me out a lot, so I'm not
Yeah,
gonna talk anything bad. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about him.
yeah, yeah,
He's a little bit of polarizing figure. I understand that because he has very strong opinion.
yeah.
And but yeah, but I love the guy. I'm not gonna say anything bad about him.
I won't promise that I won't say anything bad, but I mean, that's definitely yeah, and I respect your your relationship with him, because
Oh,
it's
oh
uh,
boy. All right, I'm gonna pick somebody else then. Okay, this is better. All right. So no, but I second your sentiment because you're talking about like there are a lot of people who are kind of stuck in one world and not reach out to the other in
mhm,
terms of fundamentals or technicals. There are a lot of people who are very, very much fundamental based and they end up lagging behind because their thesis could be completely working out, but the price action, the momentum just isn't there.
yeah,
And there's like it doesn't matter how much of a strong conviction you have with something, but if nobody else pays attention to it, nobody else cares,
mhm,
then it won't work out, right? But
yeah,
for you, like if you also sense momentum, like a lot of fundamental folks, they also pull up the chart, like even what's his name, Jeremy, like even he like pulls up the chart every once in a while and
uh-huh,
talks about how it's like Bayesian behavior, but he's not using any technicals. He's just thinking in terms of like market psychology, right? Which is what
uh-huh,
all of this is all about.
yeah, yeah,
Fundamentalists, they do that. Chartists, we do that. It's not about lines or sticks. It's not about like the hard numbers on earnings. It's not about any of that. It's about whether or not you have a story and whether or not you have people who know this and whether or not you have the momentum that goes behind it, right? So yeah, I completely. So it's actually nice to have the intersection between all of us because I think Danny has like a basic understanding of the fundamentals, but I think you really turned him around on Palantir, is what my understanding was.
mhm. Yeah, like that. Um, so we kind of like chat back and forth. I mean, I think he already had. I mean, he's had way more shares than I have since I met him too. But I think it is something that yeah, because I think he was relying on his charts too. So I think over
Yeah,
time has developed like the conviction like through fundamentals through like kind of like intersecting everything else like where I'm
yeah,
realizing it's not it's not different sects or different like worlds. It's more like a spectrum. It's more of a, okay, like this is it's like a blend. Like everyone has some type of blend. Some people avoid certain things completely, but they might be two of the three, or
yeah.
like uh,
You
um
know who blends it very well? This guy.
dude, that guy's gonna get more subs than I am on my own live stream.
Maybe. Hey, I'm just trying to have fun with you.
Oh no, no. I don't. I actually I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I
I
love
know, I know,
giving
I know.
people shit. Like I love taking shit. Like it's just it's fun. Like
Yeah,
giving busting people's balls. It's fun. But the thing
yeah.
is, he can't take his balls being busted, and then he blocks anyone who does. So that's my thing
Oh
with
boy.
that's my thing.
Oh boy.
But and back to what we're talking about. So I did want to ask you is like what? Let's see. Um, like maybe you can introduce yourself to the people who are watching, maybe someone who's never even heard, or who's never seen your account or seen any of your videos on YouTube, which if you can, could you link your YouTube channel on the comments? That way I can share it for people to also
Oh yeah.
there it is.
So
Let me
yeah,
see if
I
I can
actually can. I can
let me
join.
see.
Can I connect my YouTube account to join? Like I don't know. This is kind of dangerous, but um.
Oh yeah, if you do that, it'll let your subscribers know that you're live streaming, and
Oh,
they could
actually, okay.
possibly. You should
Oh,
do that. Yeah, yeah. Try connecting it because I believe you
okay.
already made an account with Streamyard.
Let me
Let me check
see
if
if.
Danny just sent a message.
Yeah, let's hope it's not too scammy. Let's hope it's the right account. Yeah, I connected something. All
There you go.
right. Yeah, so I connected over there,
And he
and
posted.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Well, there
not
you go.
very creative. My handle is at Cantonese Cat, so if you guys want to go check it out, this is
Mhm.
my page here. I just did a live stream before coming on, so um, Yeah, but I don't have much. So I'm an idiot. Don't listen to anything that I say. I just like to pull up charts and just talk crap. So I don't know anything. So yeah, no. But the reality is, I was very much financially illiterate for really like just 4 or 5 years ago, because I was in a profession where I was training for a very long time, and I never really had like a whole lot of money to like invest. So I was just
Yeah.
kind of going along, and then like I finally got done with my training, finally started seeing like in income, and I can actually do something with it, and I want to see my money grow. And with the pandemic, with the crazy markets, everything, it got me really interested in it. And
Mhm.
I made tons of mistakes just like everybody else, and I still make tons of mistakes just like everybody else. But I'm just here to to learn just like everybody else. That's all.
Yeah, and that's around the same time too, where I started becoming more financially literate. Let's see, it was 20. I think it was my 25th birthday, so I was like maybe 7 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
7 years ago. Yeah, so
yeah,
seven
even
years.
before me. Yeah, way before me. Yeah,
Yeah, so 7 years ago is when I started. I actually didn't start really investing. It was more where I really got just my shit together, just even budget wise, like even
yeah,
just creating a budget, following a budget, and starting to save is something that was new to me at 25. Because before
yeah,
that, I really did not have any discipline with my money. Like I had the discipline to pay my bills, but I had no discipline to save any money. So basically, whatever I got as a paycheck, you subtract the bills, and then whatever's left over is what I saw as my spending money. Like, okay, then I get to go out, I get to spend my money as I see fit, and then I would kind of time it to where right before the next paycheck, I would start running out of money. So that way, when that paycheck hits, it's kind of like refresh. Okay, on to the next 2 weeks, and do it all over again. And man, in my 20s, it was really rough because that was early 20s. I fell into the cycle of the what is it? The check advance.
hmm
Have you seen those check in advance places
I,
where you basically start pulling your check forward from the future at an
yeah,
extremely
I've heard of it.
rate,
Yeah,
extremely interest rate. So I was kind of
yeah,
stuck in a bind where something came up. I was low
yeah,
on money, and I did not want to ask anybody to borrow money from. So
yeah,
I figured I'm just gonna go here. And when I started falling behind on those payments, oh man, like that's when it's really started hurting because those interest payments, the interest rates on those are ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like Iceman says, those guys are vultures. Like in the small print, it'll show you like the ridiculously high interest rate you end up paying. And what happens is people end up in a cycle where they're falling behind on the new loan. They pull out another one. They're pulling in another paycheck from the future to pay this one, and it's just
yeah,
become this vicious cycle where you can't really get out of it. And it took me then getting. I'm not sure what I ended up doing. I don't know if I sold my car. I'm trying to remember what I did, but somehow I got out of it, and I was left in financial shambles once I was done with that.
yeah,
And it was that was a rough period. So, but once I really started getting my shit together at 25 financially, as far as budgets, then I think I was there in 2020. Yeah, around the pandemic too, is when I started taking investing a lot more seriously.
yeah,
And that I think it's crazy how many people really started thinking about. I think I should start investing like around the pandemic time. Like it
yeah.
really such a huge boom, to places like Robinhood or places that were focused on investing.
But how many people got burned and actually, left versus how many people actually stick around and like make YouTube channels, right?
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah,
yeah, dude. And my first account, like my first account, I kind of let it bleed out. I deposited a couple grand. It went up, it went down, and I
yeah,
really just let that one bleed out. And then the second account is the one that I have with my wife, and
yeah.
it's both of us funding it.
Oh,
This one I am taking a lot more seriously as far
yeah.
as
You got to. You got-
yeah, it's not a
yeah.
choice. So,
Right.
and and I think having that pressure and also too sharing it transparently.
Yeah.
Um, that's where I started sharing my portfolio. I think transparently around it was around June or
Yeah.
July 2023 is when I started kind of posting. Okay, this is my balance. This is where it's at, and I started realizing putting it out there for everyone to see to judge to comment on really started reining in my degenerate tendencies to try to start thinking, oh, everyone on the timeline is saying that Bitcoin is going to go up next week. Let me buy some risky call options on some Bitcoin miners for expiring next week or expiring in 2 weeks because everybody says it's going to go up, or I have a gut feeling that it's going to go up, and then start really losing money on call options. That's what I was doing with the first account, is where I was just kind of really just gambling. Like, people were calling it investing, but it's because the casinos were closed. You couldn't go and play cards or play poker. So people were just betting on stocks. That's what it became. And I'm wonder what the next cycle is going to look like.
I mean, I think we're in the next cycle, and it's not as hyped up as the last one. And I don't think that I think you pay your education too, right? Both in terms of time and money, and you learn a lot of things. I always feel like you need to lose a significant amount of money before you can make a significant amount of money and know how to keep it.
Yeah, that's true. Because I have heard from people who never took a real loss until their portfolio was too big, and they kind of thought they were invincible. And that's kind of scarier, to never know what a bad loss is until your portfolio's 6-7 figures, and then because maybe they think they're a hot shot trader investor, it's kind of like falling into that trap too late, and then losing a very significant chunk off of a big portfolio. I'm sure I wouldn't want to go through that. Like for me, I lost kind of tens of thousands. Like I would say 20,000, I think 20,000-30,000, and as far as tuition that you would call it, throughout my whole investing career. And it's it definitely stung seeing. I remember the last time I made one of those risky bets was right before an inflation report, a CPI report, and everybody was banking on it to be cool, and it was just 0.1 or 0.2% too hot, and the market just did a U-turn. And because I had call options on SPY, my portfolio tanked, I think 10-15% in just a couple of seconds. And just seeing so many thousands of dollars just evaporate was that kind of like, holy shit, like I need to really, get a handle on this. Like it's not it's not responsible. But
I mean, that's pretty significant amount of money for back then too, I'm sure. And supposed to now your portfolio has grown a lot. So
and anyone in the chat, who has, that have any questions too, we can make this also like a live Q&A, or if you guys want to know anything about us, you can put it here. I'll kind of try to keep an eye on the chat. If Bitcoin miners got burned on HPC, they'll open up a payday loan business. What's HPC? I don't know what HPC is. Is it BTC maybe?
No, what's HPC?
I don't know. Yeah, Scott, what's HPC? I don't know what that is. I'm trying to figure out like if it was like maybe a missed typo on something. If the Bitcoin miners get burned on, I'm guessing BTC, but
I'm guessing in BTC too. Yeah,
dude. I mean, and the one thing that I kind of, not that I called, but one thing that I had a feeling about this cycle with the miners that not a lot of people were. I think some people were talking about dilution back then, but they would say that they were going to dilute.
Oh, AI mining,
the AI mining.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
People were saying that yes, there's going to be dilution, but then I would see people's price targets, and they were insane price targets. Like they were saying, because Riot went up to X amount of dollars, or Marathon went X amount of dollars, this next round, if Bitcoin goes double, then these are going to go quadruple. And they had price targets in the hundreds for Riot, for Marathon. And I think part of that was the reason as well why I started getting a little bit of that FOMO back in December and January on Marathon, where I started seeing like, oh my God, like a $200 price target, $300 price target Marathon because of these things. But even though I knew a year ago that if they're going to be diluting so goddamn much, there's no way they'll be able to reach the same level they did before unless something incredible happens, or I don't know what would have to happen if you had, let's say, 1 million shares in the first cycle, but now you diluted to 3 million or 4 million shares. It's just I just don't see how people have such high hopes for the strike price, the price target for the miners.
So I can comment a little bit on that. I
Yeah.
think dilution doesn't matter during a bull market. It doesn't have to be rational. That's thing number one. Thing number two is dilution happen for a reason. They're not just diluting you just to dilute you, right? They're diluting you because they want to buy machines, because they want to test out, like AI. They want to test out different methods. And if Bitcoin continues to do very well, which I still think it will do very well, and if the liquidity cycle still has a lot of money coming in, then it's going to flow into Bitcoin, right? So at the bottom line, like, who's going to have the biggest and the best machine with the best hash rate? It's going to be the miners, like, because they continue to keep upgraded, continue to do all these things, right? So you're not diluting just to dilute. You're also diluting to buy machines. You're diluting to increase your hash rates. You're diluting to help with the infrastructure of something that could potentially become very big.
I think Danny is here.
The guy is here.
Let's see.
I cannot see him though.
I can't see him either.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Yeah, your mic here should be on. At least on my end, it shows that it's on. But just check on your side, Danny. But welcome, Danny.
Hello, morning. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Good morning.
Morning. Okay. So can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear your voice.
I told Kat that I'm a little bit computer illiterate because I'm not so familiar with all this technology. So luckily I did it this time.
Dang, yeah. I mean, happy to have you.
Yes, I'm happy to have you as well.
Yeah,
I was hoping to see you naked by accident.
Is my body shown?
Unfortunately, no, I can't see you at all.
Okay.
But we'll keep it that way for the audiences. But I was hoping for some accident.
Yeah, because every time when I'm doing a recording with our cat, I'm half naked, because it's extremely hot here.
Oh, I'm sure it was an accident. Okay.
And
Danny, how's the weather in Hong Kong right now? Is it?
It's extremely hot and humid. 33 to 34 degrees. Even I turn on my air conditioning, I still feel very hot. So I can't stand it. So most of the time, I'm half naked.
What he's saying is that he's hot and bothered by the heat.
So, but yeah, Danny, welcome. For those who don't know in the chat, Danny is a good friend of mine. We met around last year on Twitter.
Yes.
And we've been chatting back and forth. And, he was one of my earliest supporters. Him, Amit, they were one of the first accounts that were kind of like interacting with mine, liking or, reposting and stuff. So it's each day whenever I would post an update, Danny would say, smart. Genius, very, very good.
Thanks a lot.
It was motivating too. Not gonna lie, like it was nice to see, like, oh, okay, Danny did, he's kind of keeping up with it, So it was nice, and I appreciate the support from the beginning.
We knew each other from the Palantir community, didn't we?
I'm sorry.
We knew each other from the Palantir community.
The Palantir community, like informing.
Yes, because I was thinking about how I met you on Twitter last year.
I think it must have been. It had to. I think so. I think it was because you were. How long have you been invested in Palantir, Danny?
Let me see. Okay, should be last May, last June. I mean 2023. Since Palantir was $8.8, so that should be May or June last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I knew Cats first, and then Garcia.
Let me move the picture that Cat just pulled up, and I'm gonna drag and drop it into Danny's profile picture. But yes, this is what Danny looks like. For those who don't know.
No, this is me. I don't filter. I don't do any filter to my picture. So Cat has met me before.
Yeah,
So
he
this
looks
is real
exactly
me.
like that, naked or not.
No, I'm not naked now.
Sure.
But it's imagine no shirt.
No, but it's kind of like when you guys talking about the quote humble beginnings, like Danny was really hiding in the background. He's got like his trading system and all that. He's got what, like, for a long time he's got like 100, 200 followers.
Yeah.
And then like nobody knows who Danny is. And like he just like DMs me one day and like shows me his charts. And that's kind of how we met.
Yeah, Danny, were you posting your charts back then publicly, or were you kind of just sharing them like it through messages?
You mean my charts? So I start sharing my charts probably half a year ago, earlier January this year, and I got lots of feedback. So people were complimenting me. So that gave me motivation to share more. And then we are in a chat group. So I share lots of my charts with all of you guys, and actually to test the accuracy, to see how accurate my charts could play out in the markets. And luckily, so of course, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but overall, the gains, the wins outweigh the losses.
Yeah. Making sure it's a high hit rate. Like not everything is 100%, but you want to make sure.
There's no chart which is 100% accurate, and there's no TA which is which can be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
I know, guys, you were not a TA guy. So do you still believe in TA?
Oh yeah, and I touched on it earlier with Cat. So I feel like I am stepping more towards that side where I consider myself just more of a fundamentalist in the story, but I am seeing the value of TA when it comes to making certain moves or knowing the timing. And I think who said it? It's funny because I think Chris Patel said it, but he said, I know. Hey, Kat brought up Jesse Dow, so I can bring up Chris Patel. So he said, fundamentals tell you what to buy and technicals tell you when to buy. So I think it was,
well said.
Has some. I think it was a good quote. It applies.
Yeah,
and
I think he meant fundamentals.
I would add
when to short, and technicals tells you. But no, sorry, fundamental tells you what to short. And anyway, I'm done.
No, but if I were to add a third line to that, so it's like fundamentals tell you what is it? Fundamentals tell you what to buy, technicals tell you when to buy, and I think the story would tell you why to buy. I think, or the company's mission. Like for me, that's what applies with Palantir, where it's like, well, why not just buy another, a software company in a different space that has a higher growth rate or better management? Why not Snowflake, or why not C3 AI, and all these other companies who are also like in the AI space, quote unquote. So for me, I think that was a big reason, because my portfolio is really very highly concentrated, so it doesn't have the magnificent seven. It doesn't have Nvidia, at least right now, a little bit. But I think for me, like, the story was like a very, very big factor in deciding, like, yep, this is the company that I'm going to start investing in, because I believe in what they're doing. And once the fundamentals lined up with that story, that's, for me, that was enough. That was like 2 out of 3. I didn't study the technicals at all on Palantir before starting to buy. So for me, it's like what technicals, fundamentals, and the story. So I had 2 out of the 3 checked off, and that, for me, that was enough. And I do think I got lucky in that sense, where I started buying when it was on its way up from, I really was buying and selling since it went public, but I never started accumulating until last year. And that's kind of a mistake that I have to live with, because I look at my trades from just a year ago, like back when Palantir was in the 6s, the 7s. I bought shares of Palantir when it was around $6, and I sold them when it was around 7, because I saw it as a win. I saw it as I made a 10%, 20%. Let me buy and sell. I made a win here. and I was flipping, like, even though I already believed, in the company in a way, but my conviction and I think my level as an investor has definitely kind of improved over time. That's
I mean, with that said, when Palantir was like in the 6 and 7s, and it was like December 2022, their earnings came out for like Q4, and it was like absolutely horrible. Everybody thought they were going to have like this 40 or 50% growth rate, and then they like did not do any of that. It just kept looking worse and worse. So I get like at that point it might be more of like a trade, but it's tough. Like that's another thing when you're looking at a company's fundamentals, and it shifts, right? You might be buying at the bottom, but it's hard to do that, especially when we just came out for like a terrible 2022 bear market, and like you get scared to stay in the stock. You don't know if it's going to go down further. I get it.
Yeah, you have analysts saying that when it was at 6, you had everyone screaming that it's going to 5, that it's going to 4, and then eventually delist. That's kind of like the story. As things get worse, all the analysts start downgrading even worse. And in the Palantir Discord where I'm in, a lot of people talk about the members who bought in the beginning. They bought all the way up to 45. They held all the way down to 6, and some of them didn't make it. Some of them sold everything in the 10s, in the 5s, and were never able to buy back in. They completely took their losses and they totally left. And people in the Discord saying, "Yeah, I missed that guy. He was here. He was motivated, but the losses were too big. They cashed out, or not even cashed out. They kind of sold out or sold their shares." So it's definitely it's scary. It's scary to see your net worth go down over time so much and not be worried that it's going to go to zero. So I did have a question for you guys, is like, what made you really start, like, because you guys are long-term investors as well, right? You have your own long-term holdings. So for you, like, what is it that you're looking at a company? Like, what do you look for in a company when you're going to decide, okay, I'm going to start really accumulating these shares in these companies? Because I don't know how many holdings you guys have in some of your guys' long-term.
Does Cat want to start first, or I start first?
I want you to start first because you just woke up. You need to warm up. So go for it.
I'm sorry. So for me, fundamentally, I think I would just pick stocks which have very good, very outstanding CEO like Jensen and Elon Musk. So I think the CEO plays a crucial role in driving the stock.
Okay.
Yeah. And secondly, I like to hear very good stories. I mean the story which keeps unfolding throughout the time. Yeah, so I think this part is very important, and all these stories align with very good earnings each quarter. So I can see that there has been an uptrend in the stock. So you won't just pick companies which show red all the time, right? So I think the story, the CEO, and also technically, I have to convince myself, because I do technical TA myself. So I have to convince myself that all these stocks show a consistent uptrend across all charts, from daily, weekly to monthly. So these are the basic criteria for my stock picks.
Yes, I could see. Yeah, definitely with CEOs being one of the most important roles. That's probably the biggest reason why I have money invested in Palantir.
Oh yes, one more thing. Okay, one more thing. I have to. I think everybody has to pick the stock which echoes with the narrative of each bull cycle, because for each bull cycle, the narrative, the main theme is not the same. So for this bull cycle, definitely AI, crypto. AI. So I have to pick stocks which echo with the narrative. Yeah, not all stocks are rising. And of course, some stocks outperform because of a reason, because they echo with the narrative of the AI in this bullish cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, so altogether 4 criteria. good CEO, amazing CEO. The story keeps unfolding. Technically, it has to convince me that this is in an uptrend, not in the downtrend, because some China stock, they are still bottoming out, they are still showing a downtrend, and most people every day they just keep asking me about China stock, and I tell them try to be patient, because the bottoming cycle is still not complete. And lastly, you have to pick up stocks which echo with the narrative of the bull cycle. So just that simple. We don't have to set a very long list of criteria, but which we try to make things easy. We try to make our trading or investment fun and simple.
Mm-hmm. And I think, the last one, because I'm kind of writing in the comments so people kind of keep up with what it is we're talking about. I think the other one, so CEO, TA trending up, and stock cycle, the narrative bull cycle, and the fundamentals, right? The fundamentals.
Yes. So I try to include both fundamentals as well as technicals in my stock picks. Yeah. So 4 criteria, very easy to remember, very easy to put it into practice.
Yeah. And Iceman, I see your question too. I'll bring it up after Cat talks about what he looks for when he decides, okay, I'm going to start accumulating shares of this individual company. So
I gotta say, like, throughout the years, I've learned a lot. I've learned what makes sense, what hasn't made sense. I've taken a loss on like Lucid.
Did you buy Lucid?
Back in the days, yeah, I've taken a loss on Lucid. I've taken a loss on, I don't even know, like, anyway. I'm just saying, like, I've done the dumb things, but I can show you. So I don't know if you can see my screen very well. I haven't done this before, but
let me see if I can click. Do you see the button where it says present?
Yeah, I can do that.
Click on that.
Share screen. Don't show these tips again. Share screen.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. If I click on this, let me see if it works.
Window. Yeah, I think I'll do it. It's okay.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, you can see it. Can you see it now?
Oh, I see add to stage. I see a second one. Let me see.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I haven't done this before, but this is my Palantir. I started buying in October 2020. And when it was $9. So I wasn't sure. I was just dabbling. I was hearing about the story. I know what they were doing. I knew that they were developing software when they were like, for a decade, the company became public. I didn't know much about the financials. I didn't know much about, like, I just know that they're going to do something great because they have great software, because they were, used for the government. I know that they don't have much competition. So I really had like some interest in the story. So I was just buying a little bit. I bought a little bit, a few shares, like, whenever I had money, I would throw some stuff in there. As the price goes up, I was buying more. I was buying more.
Same with me.
And then I was feeling, oh, I'm so smart. I bought here in the teens, and now the price is up in like the 30s and 20s. I'm not going to buy anymore. So I'm just going to buy like 2 or 3 shares here and there. I'm so smart, right? And then next thing you know, and then it went from like 30 down to like 20,
Yes, and that was a peak around November, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then it was I didn't buy like the 45. Like, that's just I did not buy, right? and then I was like, okay, so it went back down. Maybe I should load up because this is a great company. It went up to 45.
I did dip opportunity.
Yeah. So I bought more, and like, it went down to the teens. So I was like Kathy Woods, around like May of 2021. I was buying like 30 shares, 15 shares, 50 shares, 50. It's like $20. It's going to go back up. And then next thing you know, it plummeted down. And guess what? As it plummeted down, guess what I was doing? I was buying less.
The conviction levels were dropping.
I know, because like the stock is crap now. I can't handle this anymore. I was buying less. But then I got smarter. And then when I saw that, hey, I still believe in the company. I know this is fun, right? I never done this. But the company is doing much better, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and buy more. It's in the 7s. What the heck are these people thinking? Buy more, like 50 shares. It's still under 10. Buy 10, 20. And they're like, it's getting above like $10 now. I'm a little bit scared. Maybe buy a little bit less. I just kept buying, and I just kept buying like nonstop, right? In the 5s.
I see a 5. I see a 5 handle there. $5.99.
Yes, I bought it. I bought $5.99. I bought 20 shares at $5.99. And then and then when I was looking, so this is when I start doing TA. This is when I start looking and like, okay, so I see a bottoming behavior. I see some technical that are looking better. And I'm not sure if we're going to go back down to like the 5s and 6s anymore. And this is when like the earnings was absolutely horrible compared to what people were expecting. Like the company, like there was like no growth rate. You know, like everybody was like saying this is a crap company. You know, but then like I kept buying because I saw that the technical looked like it was bottoming. And then when it got to like the 8s, I was like, oh, 100 shares. And then like when it I just kept buying like the 7-8 range, and then I kept buying, and here we are. Like, and I kept buying. And
the list goes on, Cat.
And this keeps going on. I never stopped buying, and recently I bought a lot more. You know, around like 23. So that's my journey to Palantir. I just wanted to share
that is the best like DCA.
DCA every week, every month.
Yeah, the definition of DCA. Like you're not.
The more of the story is I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just learning along the way. I had like an idea in terms of fundamentals, but I didn't know how to like read balance sheets and all that. I learned to do that a little bit. I'm still not very good at it, so I'm more relying on technicals. And technicals told me to buy. It's okay to buy. I think we bought them, so buy, and I've just been doing that for 4 years.
Wow, dude, and hats off to you, man. I would take off the hat if my bun wasn't.
It's interesting. Like that's like the investment psychology right there for you.
I know. Yeah, you could see it like as the conviction was falling, as the price was falling, then the number of shares, the number. So you could see the roller coaster of emotions, you know, like over throughout time, and then you could see that moment when you started discovering TA and things started getting a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, dude, I don't think I have my. Let me see if I can.
You don't have to. I just thought that was fun because I have it. I never shared. I don't share my portfolio very often, but like I just wanted to share it because it's fun.
Yeah.
And I know that Palantir is also one of your major holdings, Cat.
It's my biggest stock holding. Like, it grew up to be that way. Yeah. And I'm still very bullish on it, both from the fundamental and technical side.
And you know, we talk about the target price of our Palantir from time to time. Yeah, we have a very high target price for Palantir.
Oh yeah. Like in the Discord, we joke about $504 a share. So the reason, so I don't know if you guys have seen that. You know, 504. You know, price target 504.
504.
For me, that's my automatic response. But the reason for that is more based off of it's more of a inside joke between, you know, the community, where it's like when they IPO'd, that was the share price you needed to get for it to be $1 trillion company. So they said, all right, that's gonna be the new price target. You know, for until they become $1 trillion company, the share price will be 504. Now, I think the price has to be a little bit higher for it to reach that $1 trillion market cap. But you know, it's that's the automatic response, you know, when anyone asks. But Iceman had a question for us. I want to highlight that. So question: what is more important, net worth or nest egg to grow first? So net worth, you're talking about that including property and other things, right? You know, let us know in the comments. But I'm assuming, you know, the net worth would include other assets. And then the nest egg being, I assume, like 401ks and retirement accounts. I'm not sure if you guys kind of understand the same way I am.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's the difference between net worth and nest egg. I always thought that they're kind of the same thing. So
yes, he's saying yes. So I'm guessing he's separating nest egg from being only retirement money, I guess, like kind of like money that you're putting in a retirement account versus money that you're putting in I'm guessing maybe a taxable account or properties. I assume.
I max out my 401k. I max out my HSA account. Like it's automatic for me. I've always lived very poor, and I will always live very poor. I will do things to enjoy my experience, like travel, things like that. but I drive a crappy car. I'm not going to tell you what car I drive because it's a security question.
I know that. You told me before.
Shut up, Danny. Shut up. I'm not going to tell you what car I drive because it's a security question, but not that you know what my real name is anyway. But
what's your high school mascot and your maiden name?
Nope, not telling you. Yeah, but I've always lived very poor, so I always max out.
No, you don't. You eat sushi.
What? Hey, so I go to a grocery store. I bought the sashimi uncut, and I bring it back home, and I cut it myself, slap on top of rice, and I eat it that way. So I used to actually work.
You like your sushi. You like your sushi uncut. You like that?
Yes, I like my sushi uncut. Actually, I actually worked behind like the sushi bar for like a couple years. But anyway, that's a separate security question. But,
what was the first job you worked at?
but I'm not going to tell you which restaurant it is. But they're not there anymore anyway. But the whole point is, I've always been lived very poor, and if you have a poor mindset, in terms of standard living, you're never going to spend more, than you need. And your retirement fund's going to keep growing, and next thing you know, it's just going to be like, it's just going to be a lot bigger than you thought. So that's always been like, even when I was very poor, I keep maxing out my retirement fund. I didn't care, and it was the way to go. And then any extra money on top, like now I'm actually having extra income, and I now I can do more like net worth kind of things. But I think the nest egg comes first, I guess.
Yeah, and how about you, Danny? Like, what do you think? I know you've talked about other assets or other investments that you've made.
Yes. So actually, stocks are not the major part of in my portfolio. So I have some assets which are inherit from my mother. So before she left the world, she I inherit altogether 3 properties from my mother. So that's why I am living on the rent. Because I rent out my properties, so I have a very stable income. I have a regular income from the rents, so that supports my lifestyle. So I try to live in a decent way. I won't say I'm poor, but not rich enough to enjoy the luxurious lifestyle. But I try to maintain a decent living style. So as you know, I'm sharing the food that I usually have with you in the chat room.
Yeah.
The sushi, the wagyu.
Very good.
Yeah, and because at my age, not very young and not very old,
and you don't spend money on haircuts, so that's very.
Yes, never. But I shave my head every night before I sleep.
There you go. There you go. You don't have to tip. You don't have to pay the barber.
Yes, I don't. Luckily, but I still spend a lot of time shaving. Shaving my head. Yeah. So that's why I'm very happy with the properties that I have because they provide me very stable income. So I don't have to work all the time.
Yeah.
While still enjoying a decent lifestyle. And to me, I think property is a must. This is based on the Chinese concept. So usually most Chinese and Asians, they like to own properties because they provide regular income, they provide regular rents. And stock market is quite volatile. Sometimes, of course, in a bull cycle like this, so we are all experiencing gains. However, in a better cycle, so what happened to us? So probably we might be losing money. So who knows? So that's why I think we need to have a diversified portfolio, including properties, stocks, securities, and even some car lots for rent. Yeah, so I'm quite on the conservative side. So I don't put all the money into one basket, say stocks, because I know there's so many guys who put all their savings, life savings, into stock markets. I think, okay, you can make it big, of course. Yeah. However, at the same time, you can also lose big in the better cycle.
Yeah.
So that's why I think a diversified portfolio is a must for people like me, for middle-aged people like me.
I thought you were 92 years old.
That's late. That's late age. Look at that view. I mean,
let me see if I can present this. Share screen. Let's see. I'm also very old myself mentally, so Yeah. So I don't. Yeah.
Does it
Sharing a
show?
window.
Did I bring you home last time? I didn't, as far as I remember.
No, you made me. You made
I
me.
just took
You
you
made
to
me
my
wait
clubhouse,
downstairs.
and we had some afternoon tea,
You
lemon
you're
tea.
you're afraid. I think it was the second time you met me, and I think you were afraid of me. So
No,
yeah.
no.
You didn't want me to
I'm not
rob
afraid of you.
So this is the gorgeous view that Danny sees every day. This is the mid level in Hong Kong, and the mid level in Hong Kong is like one of the highest class neighborhood in Hong Kong. So in comparison, I'm like I basically I might as well be like living in like Jersey in equivalent to like New York as opposed to like like he's living in like Manhattan basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at his desk, like how he has like all kinds of, he's got like some like toothpicks right there. He's got like some
Yes,
papers. He's
I'm
got a
sorry.
boiler right there.
My
He's got a lot
my
of
desk is
papers
always
though.
in a
He's got a lot
mess.
of notes, right? And then this is what happened. Like I think this picture was back in January when he was showing me his charts.
Yes.
And when he was showing me his charts, I saw it like he used to not do screenshots. He used to just take pictures of it.
Yes.
So what
That's
happened
right.
is
That's right.
yeah, I see what happened behind his desk. I see the ball. I see the bananas. I think the bananas were there for a few days, and I saw a lot of bottles of water back here. They were there for a few days too. And, yeah. So I saw. Yeah. So I'm very familiar with his desk, but this is my first time seeing it like this.
No, and like Danny said, it's a disorganized desk, organized mind.
Yes.
Yeah, but I like the clothes.
He's a brilliant guy. Yeah. But I just wanted to share with you our experiences. It was really fun.
Let's see. So, but yeah, and I think let's see. So yeah, so Danny was talking about like the being diversified, in your assets. Is playing it safer than just being all in on equities.
Yeah.
And for me, let's see. Yeah, for me, I am focused on the nest egg as well. Like my wife, in her job, she has her 401k. I have my 401k from work, so we are, trying to put as much as we can there, and then what we can, we'll put into the Roth, the Roth IRA. There's look at that, some of that TA right there. Make a wish for more money.
It's gorgeous. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. Please keep talking about your investment strategy.
Yeah.
No, so but yeah, so my goal now is to just max out the Roth IRA. The what is it? The traditional IRA that I have was more of a rollover from a different account. But because in the US, you can only max out, you have 7,500 a year to split up however you want. You want 4,000 here, 3,500 here, but you can't double up. You can't do 7,500, 7,500. You only have a limit to max out. But everything that I've read and from what I understand about the Roth IRA is that the gain, you are being taxed on the money you're putting in, but you're not going to be taxed on the gains, and you're not going to be taxed when you pull the money out. So no matter what type of tax situation you're in or what state you're living in, you don't have to pull the money out until you need it. And when you do, you're not going to get taxed on it. So that's kind of for me, that's kind of a bit more important than getting the tax advantage now through a traditional IRA. So that's yeah. So I'm focusing on growing the nest egg, but right now the net worth, as far as like the regular portfolio that I'm sharing too, I mean it's I guess it's more like split 50-50 because we are depositing money when we can to the account. And let's see, and maybe I could talk about a little bit what I've been doing with the portfolio is ever since the move to Arkansas, we both came here without a job lined up. We just knew we wanted to live with family. We got here. I got a job, and my wife, she recently got her job. So it's been a few months. We're just a one-income household, and because money was tighter, we didn't have that extra money to be putting into the Robinhood account. We were depositing like 1,000 every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we were trying to deposit as much money, growing the account. But ever since December to now, I haven't made a single deposit over a couple $100. I think in total I've only deposited around 500 in the year 2024. So all of the deposits or all of the cash that has been injected into the account has only been through covered calls and cash cleared puts. That's been the main way that this portfolio has been growing this year. And I'm seeing it for myself, how it's working, how I'm seeing that money kind of make the snowball bigger. I'm using the premium to buy more shares. As the shares get more calls, and then I use it to buy more shares. And I'm seeing that cycle, that cycle working out. Yeah.
I guess it's time to learn not to do covered calls for Palantir, and that's also something hard to do because you've been making income out of for so long. It's just ranging sideways for months, and then you have to kind of look into the technicals a little bit, and also like the company's growing and their earnings continue to do very well. So I guess that's also something to unlearn as well.
Yeah, and actually, could you pull up the Palantir chart? Like maybe we can talk about that as far as because that is something that I have been. Let me see. Could you share your screen or present it, and then I'll kind of put it here.
Yeah,
that is something that I wanted to kind of talk about is me using TA more and more to make some of my decision when it comes to covered calls and cash cleared puts. Like I talked about it on my video today, where because it was trading sideways for so long,
I think it was just they want to talk about that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. So right now, I'm not going to be selling any covered calls for the time being. I think I used to just hold off for back when it shot up from February 5th, that big green candle there when it shot up.
Yeah.
Before, just a couple months before that, it shot up to $20-something. Yeah, that's February 5th. 25. Yeah, shot up to 25. That's when I started selling covered calls, and it was just it was just me being just lucky with the timing. Like it was working. Yeah. It was working, until it doesn't. And thankfully, because I was selling them so consistently around this area, I was able to recoup. Like I took a $2,000 loss to close these out, but I had made around 10,000, 11,000 throughout. So it was more like I gave back a little bit of what I made to be able to get at these calls. So for me, I'm thinking I'm going to depend more on RSI, and I want the RSI, the technicals to line up with fundamental catalysts. And if all three line up, or if both of them line up, then that's when I would sell. Like, let's say, for example, they announced on earnings, and the day after earnings, let's say they had a good earnings and the stocks are going up. And then later that week, they announced a major contract, like with a major military branch. And it's a massive contract. And then the candle just shoots up, and then the RSI just shoots up to the moon.
Yeah.
That's probably when I would sell some very conservative covered calls and then wait. Instead of what I was doing this whole year is really just selling on any green day. I was selling on any green day. I was selling some covered calls going out for a month, closing them out after a week, and just redoing it over and over and over and over again.
I would say that's a viable strategy, except that if you think that this is the beginning of the story, which I know that is the beginning. Well, we think that is the beginning of the story. Yeah. I'm going to show you a chart here, and it's nothing to do with Palantir, which is Lululemon, right?
Okay. And
this is I'm going to show you like the monthly chart of Lululemon. I'm going to show you what it did when it first IPO'd. So this is when it first IPO around like 2007, And then the great financial crisis happened. It went from like $31 all the way to like $2.
Oh wow! And that was they IPO'd in 2008. They
IPO'd in 2008. No, 2007. Sorry, 2007. Yeah, and they went all the way down to $2, right? And then it kind of went up, and it eventually had like a big giant green candle here. Like if you would have done covered calls, anywhere around here, you'd be losing your shares. Like you never know. Like and once it gets going, it really gets going, right? So, and you can see how the RSI on the monthly is like way overheated, and it can stay overheated for like a whole year.
Man, go to the peak, see where we were at. Go to the peak of that RSI.
The peak of the RSI is like 82,
and it still climbed up afterwards.
Yeah, because it climbed up on bearish divergence. Like it went a little bit higher, but RSI cooled down, right? Same thing with NVIDIA, right? So if you're talking about NVIDIA, I can't believe you want to talk about charts, Garcia. I can talk about charts all day. You look at what NVIDIA is doing. Like, and I was just showing. Like, I'm starting to think that we might be peaking on NVIDIA with the RSI. I'm starting to think that we're peaking there, right? On the monthly, again, you're looking at different time frames. I like to look at like monthly, weekly. If you're looking at the monthly RSI, you can see like how I think it's like very similar location where we're at right now versus maybe over here. And I think the RSI is getting way too overheated. It's like in the 80s, it's like almost 90 almost. And I think price is probably going to cool down, but it still has some juice to go. It could probably keep going up and like double and triple on bearish divergence, right? RSI could go down and price can still go up until it plummets, right?
And do you know what that causes that? Like, because that's the part that baffles me is that RSI is going down, but the stock price is still moving up. Because from my understanding, is it because, like, I guess relatively to the move before, it's not as
violent? It's exhausting. Correct. It's exhausting. It's not as powerful as it was before, and it looks like you're having a little bit of a trend change. You can see that on the Bollinger Band too. Which basically is like standard deviation thing, right? Like if price goes up, it's going to stretch it, upper and lower band. And if you go very, very strong, if the bull trend is very strong, the low Bollinger Band like goes all the way down to the floor, But when you start to have a little bit of exhaustion of the trend, it starts to come back up to, from Earth. It starts to go back up here, right? So you're talking about the trend's exhausting, Bollinger Band is coming back up. But the price can still go up because even though the trend is starting to exhaust, you still have buyers. I mean, eventually buyers are going to exhaust, but they're still coming in. It's still pushing up. So yeah, but the momentum has lost, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So right now, do you think the momentum is going to slow down a little bit? Like the price will the price will still keep climbing up, but maybe not as violent as it did.
I think it's probably not going to make another 10x. I think it might have another like maybe 2, 3, 4x in front of it, maybe. But it's not going to go from like 10x anymore. Is probably my best guess. But yeah, I think it's still probably got plenty of juice to it. I don't think the bull market is over, and I think I think Palantir still has a way to go.
Yeah.
So it's not even overheated. Like look at Palantir. Like what's the monthly RSI? 66.
Yeah. Man.
It's like nothing.
That's insane. And actually too, that is recently with Donald Trump picking JD Vance as his vice president. Now the narrative is changing where everything that Alex Karp has been talking about, Alex Karp and Shyam Sankar, they've been pounding the table that the US needs to spend more on software and AI. They're saying that the whole because the budget for the whole defense is in the trillions, right? Or I don't know what it's massive numbers, right? And they spend like a fraction of a percent on software. But if now you have Peter Thiel talking to the ear of the vice president saying, look, you guys need to start using Palantir. You guys need to start putting in some more money into it. Then the narrative might accelerate. The trend might even change to even more a violent move up. If they say, all right, we're going to start really using it in a more aggressive way. That's
even before that happened, like you already know that this is a great company. You know that there's no other competition. You know that there's a lot of geopolitical risks. You know that AI is going to take over. You know it's going to happen. Like the names that are going to come in to me is like, okay, it's confirmation, but like is any of that really surprising us, right?
Exactly. Like that. Yeah, that was all part of the part of the thesis that this would unfold somehow. We just don't know the exact timing, but we knew something like this would eventually happen.
Yeah. And also want to go back to I'm gonna show you two more things and I'm gonna stop showing charts. If you want to do Fibonacci levels, these are just like psychological level. For whatever reason, Fibonacci levels are like it's like there you have like these golden ratios. Things basically look very pleasing to the eye if it's certain Fibonacci level, right? So we use that as like a psychological component to see if price would hit certain levels. And if also Fibonacci level also maybe a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy because a lot of traders use it too. So you basically what you're saying is if Lululemon can bounce from the previous high here from this IPO, if you do a Fibonacci sequence from the top here to the bottom, and you look and see how it retraced through, right? And you see you also have some extension levels up here too. If Lululemon, a company that makes like stuff that I do not respect at all, hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not a misogynist. Okay, I love women. Women are great. And men can also use Lululemon. Like anyway, I'm getting myself into trouble. Like, generally, people don't use Lululemon.
Clip this, please.
But if Lululemon can retrace all the way from like the bottom all the way to like the Fibonacci level to like 2.618, which is $76, right? And it stayed there for a while, and it ended up staying stuck there for like 5 years or so, right? If Lululemon can do that, look at Palantir, right? If you're gonna draw the Fibonacci level, sorry, I like to keep my stuff clean. If you're going to draw a Fibonacci level from the high, which is $45 roughly, right, to the bottom, which is like around 6, where is the 2.618 level? You're talking about a company that is, I mean, granted, it doesn't have the same like low market cap that Lululemon had, but you're talking about a company that is literally changing the world. Where's the 2.618? It's about $100.
Over $100.
It's over $100. Is it conceivable if they continue to grow, if they really are able to get back to like 40% growth rate, if their commercial business is taking off, is it conceivable that it can hit $108 over the next 3 to 5 years?
1,000%. Like my thesis is going to go above 200, 300, in the next 5-10 years.
504.
Yeah. So like,
504 eventually.
Like, I mean, I don't have any doubt that if the company continues to execute, which they are, like it's going to go up there. And just stay put. Don't worry. Like you can try to maximize, like do what you're doing, Garcia, in terms of trying to get as many shares as possible using option strategies. Or I can just buy and hold. That's what I do.
Yeah. And what are some of the extension levels that you were looking at there that go above?
You want higher. So so the 3.618 is it's around 3.618 level is around $150, and you talk about 170 and 192.
Wow.
Well, I have one question for you guys. So one day when the bullish market turns bearish, I mean probably the recession setting in. So are you guys going to sell Palantir, or are you going to wait until Palantir hits $100?
I would probably wait for your monthly chart to confirm, but
for those people who don't know, like,
good response,
Danny has awesome charts. He has a huge Patreon. He has like thousands of people following now. Something ridiculous. He has really like these bullish signal and bearish signal. We're all relying on you, Danny.
Especially with the monthly. I think if the monthly does start turning, I would, if all the signs were pointing right, like let's say Danny's monthly chart, we start seeing the signs on us that there is like there's euphoria in the market, but you see the fundamentals kind of breaking in the country, not in the company. But I would probably trim off a couple percentages, like maybe 20-30% and stay in cash,
but you're not going to sell all.
No, probably not. Like, I don't think I ever could. I don't think I would be able to live with myself if I sold too early. And, I guess a white swan event kind of reversed the what everybody was fearing. And then things kind of just kept going up. I don't think I would be able to live with myself if I were to sell everything too early. At the most, I would sell like maybe 30%. If all the signs were there that, we're reaching euphoria, time to take some profits or time to take some money off the table, I would probably always have some shares in the account. I'd probably start selling some aggressive covered calls, maybe, some
that's what I'm thinking
and
about.
And then use more money to kind of accumulate more shares there that way. Because that's and in a way that's kind of my long-term goal with the account is right now I have around 4,000 shares, and I kind of have a vision that maybe at 10,000 shares, it's kind of more of a nice round number, right?
Yes.
10,000 for me to be able to live off of covered call premium, like to be able to say, oh, Palantir's trading at 100 something bucks a share. And then contracts, you sell some covered calls on even just half of the position is enough to live off of, where you can sell the covered call, pull the money out of the account and live off of that every single month. That's kind of, for me, that's kind of my long-term vision for the portfolio. But yeah, barring a black swan event or a massive recession, I probably stay a little bit more in cash, probably maybe 20-30%. How about you guys? Like, what's your guys' kind of plan if let's say Danny's monthly chart gave the sell?
Cats.
Yeah.
You want me to talk? I can talk. I mean, I'm.
You can talk for hours.
We can talk for hours. No, but I might sell like. Okay, so the question comes to this, right? Would you sell Nvidia back in the days? Even if it goes down like 80%, like right now you'd be you'd be like making so much ridiculous money from it. It's not even funny, right?
Yeah.
So the question is this an Apple? Is this a Microsoft? Is it gonna go to 6969? I don't know, right? Like nobody really knows. But I think it doesn't hurt to maybe take some off the table, but keep the majority of it in. Because if you like end up doing something ridiculous like 5x, like 8x or something like that, I would probably take maybe 20-30% off the table. I might buy like SCHD, which is like the ETF that gives you pretty decent growth and pretty decent dividends, like 3.5%. I'm and I might just end up like pushing that to that because that's going to be my nest egg, right? Whereas like for like the rest of 60-70% of it is just house money. I just let it ride. It doesn't matter, as long as the company's fundamentals not going to trash. And I think they're building up themselves just to become like much less cyclical, unlike Tesla, unlike Apple. Like they're more going to be, and I don't want to compare them to like Microsoft because they're not nearly as established as them, right? But like I think they're becoming less cyclical. So I feel comfortable holding the majority of it.
Nice. And how about you, Danny? Like what
yeah, my monthly chart is always, I can't say 100% accurate, but always accurate, So once I see that yellow candle, or once I see that the RSI on the monthly chart is very high, let's say above 90, I think it's very wise to just offload some of our Palantir shares. So probably in this case, I might be selling half of my Palantir portfolio because I'm really happy in Palantir. Palantir is currently the second largest holding in my portfolio. So I think, well, I need to take profits. I based on my experience and lessons, I should learn how to take profits. Otherwise, I have to lock in profits in case they evaporate one day. So I think I'm going to take half of them out of my portfolio next time when I see the bearish signal on the monthly chart.
Would you take half off? Like, would you start with one stock and then move to the other, like in order, or would you kind of would you trim off of all of them at the same time, like Tesla?
Let me see. Well, it's too early to say for the time being. I just play by the year, and probably I might be selling at 1 or 2 times. Or gradually. It just depends on the market sentiment.
Or would you wait for the yellow candle for those companies?
Yes, I think so. I think the yellow candle is a better signal for me, and also the monthly RSI. So I'm going to use both of these 2 signals to guide us on when to sell Palantir next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes when the bull market turns into bear one, so it takes 1 or 2 years for everything to hit the bottom low and then consolidate before the next rise. So we still have plenty of time to keep accumulating plenty. So we still could make use of the bearish market to do whatever we want.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, and that's I don't know if you have to go, Danny. Like I know we've been for like an hour 15 minutes. I don't want to take too much
Yeah,
of
it's
your
okay.
time.
Yeah, a few minutes will be fine. Yeah, I really
Okay.
enjoy chatting with you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. And too, I was thinking about it too, where we could make this where maybe maybe we can do it a
Yes.
little bit more consistent.
Yes,
Maybe
on a regular basis. Yeah.
on a regular basis where we could talk about life stuff for a couple minutes. Kind of catch up with what we're doing or
Yeah,
family,
that's fine. Totally fine. Yeah.
and then we can also talk about technicals. Like one day we could focus on RSI where Cat can kind of
Give us some guidelines on how to make use of the
yeah, it
charts.
could be like we could have different segments, like one of them would be like TA, and we can have like a little horoscope,
Yeah.
thing going on, the stars and the moon and the sun, and then Cat will have but yeah, where we can kind of learn TA, like we can have like TA 101 for people who've never really
Yes.
used it. Or you explain it to me, because for me, I'm starting from basically level 1, level 2. I mean, you've seen my TA. It was just a fat horizontal line on a line chart, not even a bar chart. I was just look at the line chart and just kind of draw a nice line. I was like, okay, that looks good. But I think maybe everyone else can kind of learn along, with me, and we can talk about that, and who else, who knows what else. But and I was thinking, one day, I would like to, visit you, Danny. Like maybe we can go together with Cat.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
And
So
Yeah, I don't
one day
know.
we have to meet one another,
You're
instead
gonna
of
see his
just chatting
cafe
on the air.
downstairs. He's not gonna let you up. You're gonna see his cafe.
No.
Like, oh, this is a beautiful place. Yeah.
No, I would love to. Yeah, I think we can actually alternate because we've been doing space like every Saturday morning. We can kind of alternate. Maybe one day, 1 week we can do space. 1 week we can come on here and do the show. And then 1 week we could maybe do like I could like join the other guys and do like at the Triumvirate channel. I like to bounce around. I think we can alternate. Today it happens that my wife's like out of town, so I would love to hang out with you guys whenever I can when she's not there. So and I'm sure there'd be like other opportunities too. Yeah, it'd be great. It's been fun.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm having a good time too. Like I've definitely if you asked me, and I think I have you to thank, Kat, because you were the one that kind of nudged. You were that last kind of just little nudge, that kind of got me to even open up the account, open up a YouTube account and post videos, because it was something that I was kind of just bouncing around in my head or with my wife, or talked about with other YouTubers that I know, like Amit and other people, and but it was never enough for me to kind of feel confident enough to just put the first video out there. Yeah. And I think it was in our chat when I was kind of just bouncing off the ideas, and you were the one who just said, just do it, just post the first video.
Well, you were doing it anyway. Like you're stating your case eloquently on Palantir on your friend's channel. You're going off for minutes and minutes and minutes at a time, and what you were saying sounded like music to my ears. So I was like, I want more of this.
I do have you to thank for that, because that is, and it was something that over time, and I tell my wife too, I like almost every day I kind of tell her, like, I'm surprised of where I'm at, like as far as in the community or as far as in the creator space, because just a year ago I was more just spectating. I was watching the videos. I would put Finance Junkies on, and I would watch the videos, and then there's my idol.
You're watching Jesse.
Yeah. Watching Jesse's live streams,
You're debating on about PayPal or not.
Oh my god, it's 0.
Man. All right, I'm gonna stop. I love Jesse. I'm gonna stop. It's incredible. Like you've only been on here for not long. You got like close to.
I mean, to be fair, and I would like to be honest with people, is that a good chunk of I guess I got some subscribers from like a viral video that I actually made. I don't know if you could show it there. Go to the videos and go to most popular or most views.
I mean, you got some crazy stuff here, but let me see.
Yeah. Let's go to the view.
Popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
yeah.
the top 4 are me. So you kind of realize, like, okay, out of the 700 people, like, how many are watching for the final?
It doesn't matter how you get there. You just have to get there.
Go ahead, go play the first one. It's like a 30-second video.
I don't even know if I have audio.
I don't know if you do. Oh, I don't know if it will show it.
I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Oh no, we can't hear it.
Oh yeah.
These guys were reacting. So these guys were reacting to Drake and Kendrick's song, and the first clip, they're having fun, and 1 hour later they react to Kendrick Lamar's song, and everybody's standing around like they just witnessed like 9/11 or they witnessed a murder. Like, look at them, like look at the body language. They're just like, oh my god, like oh my god, like they're sitting there in shock. Look at that, like they just witnessed a murder. Like the guy in the middle, he's just saying, "Oh my god, oh my."
All right, now you know what I watch every day, so I'm gonna go back.
Hey, I saw Radiohead there. I love that band.
Yeah, I got Radiohead. Yeah, I got some Cantonese old songs, but yeah.
Oh man, dude, that's funny. I love it. Oh, ETF FaceTime's in the chat, dude. ETF FaceTime subscribes for some reaction content, and then guy just talks about AI company every day.
Sounds about right. That's how it works, you know. It's kind of like you meet a coworker, you know, and you just wanted to be friends. Think so, you know, you like have kids with them. So it's you never know. You never know.
You never know. Oh my god, dude! And then this guy, I met him in I think it was a Finance Junkies live chat. So him and we would just be saying the dumbest things in the chat, like just making each other laugh. Like for me, that I just never stop joking around. Really, like I'm not a serious person. Like I'm always laughing. I'm always in my head. It's just always just thinking of something to just. I mean, that's why you guys see. I can come up with like a meme like I've been posting a meme every day for like a year. Like it's coming a little too naturally to do it. Yeah, we be trolling. Pretty much it.
So. Good thing Danny and I are very, very serious, so we balance each other out. So,
no, we definitely do. So, yeah, and I think it would be a good note to end it on. You know, like we had a pretty good time. I don't know if you guys had any final thoughts or anything you would like to kind of, you know, but I had a great time, you know, chatting with you guys, and I am looking forward to the next time we do this. You know, maybe we could do it every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, if my wife lets me.
Yeah.
Danny,
your wife to join us. Cats.
Danny's free. Like the only thing you have to pry him out is from his Patreon. That's it.
I know that's his baby. You know, his children need him. You know.
I'm sorry if I feel like I talk too much, but I know everybody wants to hear from Danny because he's very special. So.
No. It's your style, Cat.
No, like I love it. Like we definitely like mesh well. You know, we kind of complement each other very well. So
yeah, we do this on like DMs anyway, so this is nothing new.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to thank everyone, you know, for tuning in. You know, the people in the chat who are watching. You know, I'll let you guys know when we schedule the next one. And yeah, we could do it. It doesn't have to be on the same day.
Yeah.
On a specific schedule. We could just do it whenever, you know, you're free, Cat. You know,
yeah.
And maybe one day Jess will join it too, where we'll kind of just talk and you know, shoot the shit.
Yeah, get him in on. Okay. We'd love to talk to him again.
Yeah, we could have like a rotating, you know, like you know, people who would like to join for a chat as well. We could do that as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we play by ear. Great seeing you as always.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we'll leave it with this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please, subscribe to Cat's channel, Danny's Patreon. Follow us on Twitter. I'll put the I'll kind of link your guys' stuff on the description for this video, and then you guys just check in the description, and we'll do this again sometime. Stay tuned, and thank you guys. So Cantonese Cat, Danny, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for hosting. Thank you, Cat.
Yeah, thank you for hosting. Thank you for a great session. Loved it.
Of course. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the chat.
And we will see Frontier at 5:04.
Yes, we'll see Frontier at 5:04. And with
5:04.
And with that, we'll leave off, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon.
Okay, see you. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.